Hey, Ryan, welcome to Philadelphia. Thanks for taking the time to do this.
Thank you.
We'll,
Thanks
uh,
for
we'll,
having me.
we'll get started with Les Bowen and then Ed Kratz.
Hey, Ryan, welcome. So what role do you expect here? And do you have like a favorite memory from all the Eagles Washington games you've played in over the years?
Um, it's tough to pick one. I mean, fortunate to have been a part of a lot of great games. I mean, 10 years of playing in Philadelphia, playing Philadelphia back in Washington. Have a lot of good memories. But it's tough to pick just one. But I mean, as far as my role here, I just want to be someone that come on the field and make plays, whether that's in run game, the pass game, whether it's dropping out. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, I just want to be able to make plays for the defense.
Do you have a target number of snaps? Percentage?
I don't have a target number of snaps. I just, however many reps I'm on the field, I want to be able to be impactful, make plays, and just do stuff to help the team.
Thank you.
Ed Kratz and then Rob Motti.
Hey, Ryan, welcome to Philadelphia. I just wanted to ask you why Philadelphia. There were reports the Steelers and Bengals were also very interested. Why did you pick Philly?
I think a couple of reasons. I had a really great visit here. The energy in the building. It's hard to really put a finger on, but the energy in the building was just so positive, so good. And I mean, from Coach Sirianni to Coach Gannon to Coach Rocker. I mean, they all you felt a good positive sense of energy here, and that was something that was really intriguing. And then also just talking through some film and talking some ball with the coaching staff. I feel like they're gonna put us in positions to succeed defensively, and that was something I was excited about.
Okay, Rob Motti and then Mike Kay.
Hey, Ryan, what are your views on being a mentor to some of the younger players? I know you had an opportunity to do that with a lot of talented guys in Washington. How do you view that here in Philly?
I'm excited for that opportunity. I've been fortunate to be in this league a long time, 10 years, and so I feel like I've learned a lot. I've been able to gather a lot, whether it's from different players, different coaches, different experiences. I feel like I got a lot to pass on from the mental side of the game, and I'm excited to do that with some of the guys here, like I've done with some of the guys in Washington over the years.
Okay, Mike Kay and then Jeff McClain.
Hey, Ryan, we talked to J.G. Gannon last week, and he talked about pressuring quarterbacks pre-snap, and you were obviously very versatile. You can play linebacker, you can play defensive end. How do you think you can kind of help put pressure on signal callers before the snap in a defense like this?
Well, I feel like with this defense and the way we're going to do some things, it's going to allow us to be pretty multiple up front and allow us some to kind of not do the same thing over and over again. And I think that's going to allow us to kind of be able to gain an edge mentally pre-snap.
Jeff McClain and then John McMullen.
Ryan, you've played most of your career as a 3-4 outside backer. The expectation here is that it'll be a 4-3. Certainly, obviously, there are some similarities. But what are some of the differences? And will you still kind of rush standing up? Will you be in a 3-point stance? I mean, what are your expectations in terms of the scheme change?
My expectations are just that Coach Gannon knows ball. He knows his personnel, and I feel like he's gonna put us in the position that's conducive to us being successful. I am fortunate to have had a lot of experience as a 3-4 backer. I've also had a lot of experience as a 4-3 defensive end, whether back in college or this past season in Washington. So I feel like no matter what the role is, I feel like I'm going to feel comfortable doing it because, I mean, when you're on the line of scrimmage it's all kind of you're still doing most of the same things. It might just be in a different way.
John McMullen and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Ryan, welcome. You had a lot of great matchups with Lane over the years. Curious as to how you think you guys can help each other improve now that you'll be practicing against each other.
Yeah, I mean, he's right there at the top of the league in terms of right tackles. I mean, that guy's he's been impressive really since day one, and a guy that I knew every year when the schedule would come out, I'd kind of look at when the 2 games against Philadelphia would be, because I knew that was that's when I would have to go against Lane 2 times those 2 times a year. And he's a hell of a player. I mean, there's a reason he's been at the top of his game for so long. And I'm excited to work with him in practice each day, because I feel like that's only going to make us both better. And to be going against him in practice is it's going to be a lot more fun than going against him in the games. That's for sure.
Zach Berman and then Martin Frank.
Hey, Ryan, I've heard you reference Gannon a few times here today. You also spoke about him on the podcast with John Clark. What about Gannon particularly resonated with you?
Kind of like with Coach Sirianni, their energy. They're positive dudes. You can tell that the energy is going to not only be present in the meeting room, but on the practice field as well. And when you got that kind of energy going, that really picks up the tempo at practices and whatnot, and so allows guys to really engage and focus. And so that was one of the things that I was really most impressed with really the entire staff, but Coach Gannon in particular.
Is he someone you knew about before the Eagles recruitment, or was it just the past week when you got to know him?
It was really the past week when I got to know him, and just like I said, just the immediate sense of the energy that you could and positivity you could pick up from him were big factors.
Okay, Martin Frank and then Bo Wolf.
Hi, Ryan. I was wondering just how much of what it's like playing on the same defensive line with like Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox, and were they at all instrumental in recruiting you to Philly?
Yeah, I'm really excited to play with those guys. I mean, and yes, they both were instrumental in getting me here to Philly. I mean, Brandon reached out, Fletcher reached out a couple of times, and told me, and they both expressed that they felt like I could really help out the team here, and that really meant a lot to me, because I really respect those guys and respect their game. Brandon, him and I go back to our Big Ten days when he was at Michigan and I was at Purdue, so I've admired him for a long time. And then Fletcher Cox, I mean, he's a really amazing 3 technique and defensive tackle. So I'm really excited to get to work with those guys.
Okay, I see 2 more hands, so we'll go Bo Wolf and then Dave Zangaro.
Hey, Ryan, listening to you talk about Sirianni and Gannon, you've been through, coaching changes before. In your experience, what are the types of things that you look for in a new coach, and do those things, like the enthusiasm, do they tend to stick as the season goes on?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to be able to motivate your guys, and you got to make guys care about it. You got to build a culture of caring for each other, and I feel like that's what Coach Sirianni is really trying to do here, is allowing us to connect and really build some great relationships, and that because that's the best teams I've been on, that I was on in Washington. We all really connected really well, and in the building and out of the building. We hung out away from the field. We had really good chemistry within the locker room, and so I know that's what Coach Sirianni is trying to build here, because it definitely translates to performance on the field.
Dave Zangaro and then Ed Kratz.
Hey, Ryan, nice to meet you. In all those years you played against the Eagles, did you ever wonder what it would be like to be on that side and play for Philadelphia?
I tell you what, it was tough. It would have been tough to imagine that, but it's I'm glad that it's worked out this way. I've been coming to Philly for 10 years. I know what it's like to play here. Coming in on the bus, we're often met with some not very kind words and gestures, but I always appreciated that, because that means the fans care. They care about their team. They care about the product that the team's putting on the field, and so I'm excited to be on the good end of that now.
Okay, Ed Kratz and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Ryan, I'm just curious, what number? Have you picked out a jersey number now? I know Fletcher wears number 91. Have you given any thought to
that? Number 90. Yeah. I knew 91 was off the table.
Why 90? Was that Purdue number, or what's the significance?
No,
there?
94 was the Purdue number. But Josh Sweat is has earned that for sure. So 90 was 90 seemed like the best one, and I mean, they got a couple 90s retired as well, so that took a couple off the board. So that was my best option.
Thanks.
Okay, go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Ryan, there's a perception from, I guess, the outside looking in that the Eagles are in rebuilding mode or in a transition mode. As a veteran, was that something you looked at and you view it differently here in Philly?
Well, I know as a player, you don't ever really see the team you're on as being in rebuilding mode because you can't. I don't think as a player you can look at it that way. As a player, you got to go out and say, "Hey, I got to perform," whether no matter what the case is, whether we're 17-0 or whatever. So it's like you gotta go out there and perform, and that's how I'm going to treat it. I mean, people forget that Philly had been in the playoffs 3 straight years until last season. So the pieces are definitely still there, and there was that was a big factor in me coming here too.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.